Hi, and welcome to 518 Faces, the program where we showcase upstaters doing exciting things. Joining us today is Jack Carpenter, the purveyor of Two Buttons Deep. So Jack, a few years ago, you made headlines with a rap about Shenandoah.
Yes, I did.
And where did the idea come from, and were you expecting the kind of reaction that it got?
Definitely not the reaction it got. I'd always made videos my whole life, starting in like middle school. Then I started to get a little more serious with it, and I actually surpassed 1 million views on YouTube in about 10th grade, and I started making money from it. I started buying nicer equipment, teaching myself how to edit and everything, and I started to steer more towards like the satirical side and like late night television stuff. And in my senior year, I have so many thoughts about the school I'm in. You know, I went to Shen, there's so many people there, like 1,000 in each class. And I was like, there's so many things people riff on this place for, there's so many weird things that have happened, like I kind of want to make like a song about it. And I released it in June, and I go in the next day, literally everybody's talking about it. It has like 10,000 views. I'm like, oh God, all the teachers are talking about it. So for like 3 days, everybody was talking. And then finally, I was in lunch, and the principal walks in and walks me away. And everyone's like, no. But so they kind of brought me in, and they were like, yeah, like we get it's funny, but it's gotta go. And they kind of like almost threatened like a lawsuit against me if I didn't. I had to go in with my parents. We had to have like a conference and everything. So I take it down, but then it kind of became the senior prank for people to re-upload it. And then they wanted to get the police involved, and it became this whole mess. I almost didn't walk across the stage, but I did. I'm a high school graduate, and I live to tell the tale.
After being nationally recognized for a homemade video, did you expect to be rapping on Jimmy Fallon?
I was actually at a taping with my good friend Taylor Rea. We went down to the city because I said, love Jimmy Fallon. He's my homeboy. And we went to a taping, and they were actually, while we were in line, a producer's coming around saying, we're looking for people to audition for the segment called Battle of the Instant Rappers. I'm not really a rapper, but I just love Jimmy Fallon. So I'm like, yeah, of course, I'm in. So I made that homemade video. You had to submit a video of like a sample rap of something you had to write like quickly, and then you send it to them, and then the writers pick the best to come on the show. So I sent it in, and then they're like, yeah, come on down to the show next Friday. It was wild. They gave me, so I get there, they bring us to like the secret backstage entrance, and we're hanging out, and they gave me a song title, and then they say, all right, you have 30 minutes to write a song about it, then you go out and perform it. And I'm like, okay. It was cool to meet him because we have that bond. He's from upstate New York. He went here to St. Rose. I'm from Clifton Park. And it was awesome.
Being that you're young and breaking into the industry, have people been pushing you to do like 9 to 5 gigs instead of doing the late night stuff that you like to do?
Oh, yeah. I mean, nobody's going to tell you to pursue your dreams, and no one's going to allow you. You kind of have to make it happen. If you're going to make something happen, it's up to you. So I kind of took that into my own hands, and that's why I tried really hard in college to develop my show. So when I got out of college, I could use that as a platform for a job rather than starting at ground zero and applying places. And so my first job out of college, I went on tour on a bus for about 4 months with this company. And it was called College Weekly, so we went to one college each week. And we served a couple different purposes. We put on some philanthropy events with fraternities and sororities. We put on shows downtown with a couple artists. And then I taped a similar late night show on our bus each week with like a guest at the school or something. But the people running the company really had no idea what they were doing, and we blew all our investment money. And just like that, it was over. So then I find myself back here in the 518, and this is where I'm from, this is where I have all my connections, and this is where my inspiration has come from. So I'm like, this is where I need to set up shop. So I actually got a really good job working at a place called Ignite U. It's a business accelerator program in Troy, New York. And I work with the startups, helping them with their marketing material for commercials, social media products, whatever they need. So I'm like a video consultant for the whole business, and that pays the bills. And some of the best advice I've gotten, not personally, but from Mark Cuban, he says if you want to pursue your dreams and if you want to have a startup, you get a job that pays for it on the side, and you use that money to do it. You know, a lot of people just get big money investment, and they quit everything, and then they go all in, and then they burn out, and then they're left with nothing.
Yeah. Now tell me about Two Buttons Deep, like the initial thought process behind it and like the initial startup about it.
So it came out when I was in college. We used to, again, I went to a small school, so there weren't any big fraternities or anything. So it was up to my house to have the big parties. And we would have these parties where people would wear Hawaiian shirts. And the concept is, the more you drank, the more the night went on, the better time you were having, the more buttons deep you would go. Like right now, you and I, we're acting kind of professional right now. We're at the job. If I was wearing a button-up shirt, I'd probably have a tie on. No buttons deep. You know, we're acting conservative, professional. That's the way it's supposed to be. But, you know, let's say this interview ends. We're a little more relaxed. I'd probably go 1 button deep. You know, maybe on your way home, jamming out in the car. Now, 2 buttons deep is the time of the day. Maybe it's happy hour. Maybe you're with your friends. Wherever it is where you're really comfortable and having good conversation with the people you care about, that's 2 buttons deep. And all the content that we create and all the content that we post to our website, 2buttonsdeep.com, is stuff we think people will want to talk about when they're 2 buttons deep with their friends. We do have a website, 2buttonsdeep.com, and that's where everything is posted, but our biggest reach comes from social media. Like us on Facebook, 2 Buttons Deep, Instagram, Twitter. That's where you get to see all of us, and that's where you really get to see the personalities behind the business. We have about 10 writers, a lot of video producers, and we just do cool stuff that's worth talking about, both here in upstate New York, and we cover stuff nationally.
And do you have any advice for people who want to go into video production and stuff like that?
Like I said before, nobody is going to ever hand you something, especially in this industry. It's very cutthroat, it's very competitive, it's very low pay. You really need to make your own opportunities happen, and that comes from working in your bedroom until 3 a.m. That comes from walking into somewhere you're uncomfortable and asking for something. I believe doors will not open for you unless you knock.
All right, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you, Jack, for taking the time to come out and talk with us. And until next time, I'm Gracie Cox with 518 Faces. Thank you for watching.